Despite being one of the lowest contributors to global greenhouse gas emissions, Pakistan is one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change. As a lower riparian province, Sindh has been at the receiving end of disproportionate damages and losses due to the recent floods. Sindh is home to more than 50 million people spread over an area of 141,000 square kilometers. 52% live in urban areas, while 48% live in rural areas, and around 38% derive their livelihoods from agriculture, livestock, forestry, and fishing. The farmers were eagerly waiting to harvest their crops when the unrelenting downpours began and completely disrupted the lives of more than 12.4 million people. Torrential rains during July were 307% more than the average rainfall during the month, and those during August were 726% more than the average rainfall. 800 precious human lives have been lost in Sindh, with colossal damages that cannot be quantified. With more than 3.8 million acres of crop area in Sindh being affected, the recent floods have destroyed the entire harvests of cotton bales and date palms. About 450,000 livestock has also perished, with 24 out of the 30 districts being declared calamity hit. More than 2.1 million houses are estimated to have been damaged in Sindh. Being the most affected province, Sindh has suffered the most adverse impact of the recent floods. The devastations due to the floods are multifaceted that have impacted the economy, housing, irrigation, water supply and sanitation, livelihood, communications, and several other sectors. With more than $9 billion in damages and $11.5 billion in losses, the estimated financing needed for reconstruction in Sindh is around $9.36 billion, with flood-related financing committed by the donors standing at around $1.84 billion. A significant financing gap of about $7 billion remains for Sindh. The government of Sindh has proactively collaborated with the federal government, international development partners, especially the United Nations and its exceptional leadership, NGOs, and community stakeholders to undertake its rescue and relief operations, including the provision of relief items in the flood-affected areas. Concurrent with the rescue and relief efforts, the government of Sindh has been focusing on rehabilitating the affected population. The strategic focus of Sindh is centered on providing immediate shelter, food, water, health and education to the displaced population, providing low-cost climate-resilient housing with allied facilities, restoring and rectifying the damaged drainage and irrigation infrastructure, economic regeneration by revitalizing livelihood, particularly agricultural activity, rehabilitating health and educational facilities, rehabilitating damaged provincial highways and internal roads infrastructure, repurposing existing projects and conceiving new projects with international partners, including World Bank, Asian Development Bank, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, and European Union, and realigning provincial budget with flood-related projects. Despite the full-fledged efforts of the government, the scale of devastation in Sindh requires technical and financial assistance from the global community to alleviate the sufferings of the people whose lives may never be the same due to this mammoth catastrophe, and to mitigate the looming threat caused by climate change.
I've seen many humanitarian disasters in the world, but I have never seen climate carnage on this scale. I have simply no words to describe what I've seen today. A flooded area that is 3 times the total area of my own country, Portugal.